Welcome to your deep dive. Today, we're going to crack open a classic that's helped millions.
Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking.
You got it. You might be looking for a confidence boost, maybe some ways to handle stress.
Or just curious about this self-help giant.
Right. Either way, get ready for some surprisingly practical advice, honestly.
You know, what's really fascinating to me is how Peale blends psychology and faith.
Yep.
It was groundbreaking, back then, and some of it still holds up pretty well today.
Yeah. He kind of dives right into this universal struggle, like right off the bat, self-doubt.
Oh, yeah.
He tells the story about a businessman on the edge of this huge GE deal, but totally paralyzed by feeling inadequate.
Like you just can't...
It's like his brain was sabotaging his own success.
I've been there.
Haven't we all?
Right.
What's his immediate advice?
Well, he says, lean on an affirmation. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me.
Right.
But he doesn't stop at that surface level positivity.
Right.
He digs deeper, right?
Sure.
He suggests these feelings often stem from way back our childhood.
Ooh, childhood experiences.
Exactly.
That resonated with me big time.
I bet.
Peale himself, he felt inadequate as a kid, skinny and a preacher's son. I mean,
Oh, wow.
who hasn't felt like they don't fit in at some point?
Right.
But the key takeaway here is how to break free from that, how to not let those old tapes play.
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So how do you get out of that?
Well, he says it's not about, ignoring those feelings, right?
Right.
It's about understanding their roots. Like, where is this coming from? And Peale says faith is crucial here. Not just blind faith, but the kind you build through prayer and reflection, helping you see yourself in a new light.
Well, I like that. So it's a total mental makeover, not just like a quick fix.
Totally. And that leads to Peale's next big idea, the power of changing your attitude, your mental attitude.
Okay.
He tells this amazing story about this guy who lost everything in the Depression.
Wow.
Hitting rock bottom. But instead of despair, right, this guy made a list.
Okay, a list of...
Of what he still had. Health, family, friends.
Right.
That shift in perspective.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Peale calls that more important than the facts themselves.
Yeah.
He even quotes the psychiatrist, Dr. Carl Menninger. He says, attitudes are more important than facts.
Ooh, powerful.
This is where Peale gets really practical.
Okay, lay it on me.
He has this technique called a vacuum cleaner method. Imagine literally sucking out negative thoughts
Okay.
and replacing them with positive ones.
I think I can picture that, yeah.
Like, if you catch yourself thinking, I'm gonna mess this up,
Right.
you immediately swap it for, I am capable and I got this.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
that.
it's like really retraining your brain.
It's almost like decluttering your mind, just making space for a more positive outlook.
That's a good way to put it.
And Peale argues that this isn't about ignoring problems, right? It's about facing them with a mindset that's open to solutions.
I like that. So we've tackled self-doubt, we've tackled attitude, and then Peale goes full-on spiritual
Okay.
with prayer power. Now, even I was a little skeptical at first, but the story he tells about this businessman is wild.
I'm intrigued.
This guy, he was a total non-believer, but his life was falling apart. So he tried prayer as like a last resort.
Wow. What happened? Spilled the tea.
He didn't just find comfort.
Okay.
He found actual, tangible solutions, like real-world stuff changed.
That's wild.
Peale breaks down a 3-step prayer method.
Right, give it to me.
First, you actually pray. You're seeking guidance, you're aligning yourself.
Okay, makes sense.
Then you picturize.
Picturize.
You vividly imagine yourself succeeding.
Oh, I love that word, picturize. It's like creating a mental movie.
Of your desired outcome.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the final step is actualize.
Actualize.
Working toward your goal, but with the belief that it will happen.
So it flips the script on like passive prayer.
Totally.
Peale's saying faith requires action too.
He tells another story, this time about a woman
Okay.
whose marriage was on the rocks. She used this prayer method.
Did it work?
They reconciled. Like, they actually got back together.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's about aligning your actions with your hopes and beliefs.
Now, no self-help book would be complete without tackling happiness.
Of course not. What's Peale's take on happiness?
It's pretty insightful, actually. He talks about this guy on a train
Okay.
Just an ordinary setting.
Just a dude on a train?
Yeah, but he made the conscious choice to be happy, not because anything amazing was happening. He just decided to be happy.
Like happiness as a habit, like a muscle you can strengthen.
I like that. He also tells this story about a red cap in a train station.
A red cat.
Yeah, you know, the guy who helps with the bags.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And this guy was just radiating like love and kindness to everyone, no matter who they were.
Oh, wow.
It got me thinking about how contagious positivity can be.
Yeah. That simple act probably brightens so many people's days.
He's highlighting a key principle here.
Which is?
Cultivate love and kindness, not just for yourself, but to spread it around.
Like pay it forward kind of thing. I like that.
He also emphasizes avoiding what he calls manufactured unhappiness.
Manufactured unhappiness. What does that even mean?
It's basically overthinking.
Yeah.
You know, creating problems where there are none.
Oh, like making yourself miserable for no reason.
Yeah.
Been there.
Choose to focus on the good stuff.
Easier said than done sometimes.
But yeah.
Good advice. Anything else?
Yeah. And don't forget about simplicity and gratitude. Peale points out how, like, children, they find joy in the simplest things. It's a reminder for us all to appreciate the little things.
Oh, that's good. Like, not get caught up in always wanting more.
Exactly. That's so true. It's easy to lose sight of that in the daily grind, right? But Peale also warns about the dangers of that grind.
The always on, always hustling mentality.
That leads to stress and burnout.
He's not wrong.
He talks about the importance of slowing down,
Yeah.
consciously conserving your energy, finding those pockets of peace.
I need to do more of that. What else does he suggest?
Oh, he even tells this story about a doctor prescribing a cemetery visit to a workaholic patient.
Wait, what? The cemetery?
Can you imagine?
Talk about a wake-up call.
Yeah.
But I see what he's doing.
The point was to get the guy to reflect on what really mattered.
To put things in perspective, yeah.
It's morbid but effective. Peale offers some really practical techniques for calming a frantic mind.
Like what? I need all the help I can get.
You remember that visualization technique where you imagine dropping all your worries overboard a ship?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Visualize them sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Gone.
Or refilling your mind with peaceful thoughts and scriptures.
Basically replacing anxiety with calm and hope. I like it.
And this is where Peale's message, it really starts to hit home.
How so?
It's not just about thinking positive, right? It's about connecting with something bigger than yourself, finding a source of strength outside your own head.
Oh, interesting. So it's less about self-reliance and more about...
tapping into something beyond yourself. He believed that tapping into this higher power, however you define it,
Yeah.
could help you overcome even the toughest challenges.
Okay. I mean, I can see how that would be empowering. Does he give any examples?
Oh, he backs this up with some truly remarkable stories, like the story of Maurice and Mary Alice Flint.
Maurice and Mary Alice Flint.
Their lives were completely transformed after they embraced faith and positive thinking.
So they were in a bad place and then...
They went from financial ruin, personal struggles,
Oof, that's rough.
to finding peace and purpose.
That's quite a turnaround.
Or the story of the longtime alcoholic who finally found sobriety and a new life through connecting with a higher power.
Wow. I mean, these are pretty dramatic examples.
They really highlight how powerful faith can be.
I mean, even if you're not, you know, super religious.
The takeaway is finding that source of strength and support outside yourself. You don't have to face your struggles alone.
That's a good message. What else does Peale talk about?
And that brings us to one of his most important messages, I think.
Which is?
Expecting the best, not the worst.
Okay.
He tells the story about a businessman whose struggling business turned around simply because he shifted from disbelief to belief.
He willed it into existence by changing his outlook.
Exactly.
Like the power of positive expectations.
And Peale actually encourages readers to repeat this affirmation.
What's the affirmation?
I believe God gives me the power to attain what I really want.
Interesting.
Now, you can adapt that to fit your own beliefs.
Sure. Yeah.
But the core message is believing in your ability to achieve what you desire.
So what you're saying is, what area of your life could benefit from that kind of positive expectation?
Oh, that's a good question.
What would you attempt if you truly believed you could achieve it?
That is a great question to ponder, honestly.
I think we should all think about that.
Yeah.
But before we go too deep there, Peale has a lot more to say about about breaking free from, worry and anxiety.
Oh yeah, he calls worry a subtle and destructive disease.
A disease. Wow, that's pretty dramatic.
He compares it to someone constantly choking you,
Right.
cutting off vital energy and potential.
And that image really sticks with you.
It does.
What else does he say about worry?
He tells another anecdote about a doctor advising a workaholic patient to visit a cemetery.
To remind him that all those people stressed about things that ultimately didn't matter.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder to keep perspective.
Yeah. And Peale even highlights how anxiety can mess with your physical health.
Oh, for sure. The mind-body connection is real.
He cites research on its connection to high blood pressure, heart problems, even arthritis.
Oh, wow. Yeah. When you're stressed, your whole body feels it. So what's the antidote to this worry epidemic?
Peale suggests emptying the mind,
Emptying the mind.
like a mental cleanse. He talks about visualizing yourself dropping your worries overboard a ship.
Oh, yeah, that one. Or even writing them down and then, physically tearing up the paper.
It's a way of symbolically releasing those burdens.
I like that. But emptying your mind isn't enough, is it? You got to fill it back up with something.
Right. Peale recommends focusing on peaceful thoughts,
Yeah.
doing things that bring you joy, and connecting with, faith or spirituality.
He particularly highlights the calming and healing power of Scripture.
Especially for those who find comfort in those words.
I see that.
He even shares a story about a guy who overcame crippling anxiety
Okay.
by constantly reciting verses from the Bible,
Interesting. Which verses?
particularly the 23rd Psalm.
Oh, yeah. The 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd.
It's fascinating how he blends practical psychology with faith-based solutions.
Yeah. It's a unique approach. So basically, he's saying you can train your mind to be less anxious, right?
More peace.
And that surrendering your worries to a higher power. Again, whatever that may be for you.
Is key to finding that peace. It's a message of hope and resilience. You're not alone and you have the power within you to overcome these challenges. But Peale doesn't just focus on our internal struggles.
Oh, right.
He also digs into building positive relationships.
I'm listening.
He starts with a simple truth.
Lay it on me.
Everyone wants to be liked.
True.
It's like a basic human need to feel appreciated, valued.
Absolutely.
He even quotes William James, who said, "One of the deepest drives of human nature is the desire to be appreciated."
I mean, that need doesn't disappear as we get older. In
Right.
fact, feeling unwanted or unneeded can be, devastating.
Yeah, he tells some heartbreaking stories about people battling loneliness and feeling like they don't belong.
It's rough.
It really drives home the importance of human connection for our well-being. So how do we become the kind of people others want to be around?
Yeah, what's the secret sauce?
Peale suggests starting by being a comfortable person,
Comfortable person. All right.
someone who puts others at ease.
Gotcha.
He describes these people as easygoing, genuine, with a kind and pleasant demeanor.
Okay, so you're saying be approachable.
And he tells us a great story about James A. Farley. He was the former Postmaster General,
Okay.
and he was known for connecting with people from all walks of life.
He didn't just hang out with the elite.
He would even take the time to chat with hotel maids,
Oh, that's nice.
making them feel seen and appreciated. It's about treating everyone with respect and kindness, regardless of their position or status.
I like that. Treat everyone with respect. Solid advice.
Absolutely. Peale also stresses the importance of being a good listener.
Oh, listening is so important.
Showing genuine interest in others and remembering their names.
Those little details go a long way.
They make people feel valued.
He even talks about the power of a smile.
It's like sending a telegram of friendliness and warmth, those nonverbal cues that make us approachable.
Yeah, a smile can really brighten someone's day.
And he cautions against egotism and self-centeredness,
Oh, yeah.
reminding us that building others up is far more rewarding than tearing them down.
It's about lifting each other up, not competing.
Exactly. He tells a heartwarming story about Dr. John W. Hoffman.
Dr. John W. Hoffman.
He was the former president of Ohio Wesleyan University.
Okay.
And he was known for inspiring and encouraging students. He'd write them letters, congratulating them and expressing, belief in their potential.
What a beautiful example of using your influence to uplift others.
It really shows the power of encouragement and positive reinforcement.
So basically, Peale is saying, be kind, be supportive, and be a good listener.
Yeah, But he also acknowledges that even with our best efforts, we won't win everyone over.
That's true. You can't please everyone.
He even quotes a Bible verse.
Which one?
If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
It's a reminder to focus on, building healthy relationships.
With those who are receptive to our friendship and kindness.
And to let go of the need to please everyone.
Which can be a huge source of stress.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from self-doubt to positive thinking to building relationships. What else does Peale dive into?
From there, he takes us into the realm of drawing upon a higher power.
Interesting.
To overcome challenges and live a more fulfilling life.
Okay, so we're getting into the more spiritual aspects now. Tell me more.
He suggests 2 key methods.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Learning to rest in God's presence.
I mean that inner stillness and peace.
And adopting a positive, optimistic attitude toward every problem.
So it's not just about passively accepting whatever comes your way, but actively approaching it with
hope and a belief that things can get better.
I can dig it. Does he get more specific about how to do that?
He really emphasizes the importance of faith and belief. He even quotes the verse, "According to your faith, be it unto you."
That's a powerful one.
He believed that by tapping into this higher power, again, however you define it,
right,
you could access strength and guidance to help you conquer any obstacle.
It's almost like you're not alone in your struggles. There's something bigger out there supporting you. I can see how that would be comforting. Does he provide any examples of this?
Oh, yeah. He shares some pretty compelling stories, like the story of Maurice and Mary Alice Flint.
The Flints, right. We talked about them before.
Right. Their lives completely changed after they embraced faith and positive thinking. They went from financial ruin and a ton of personal struggles.
And they found peace and fulfillment.
It's a powerful example of transformation.
Definitely.
And Peale also talks about surrendering your problems to a higher power. Trusting that there's a plan, even when you can't see it. It's not about giving up, but about
letting go of the need to control everything.
Yeah, having faith that things will work out. He encourages readers to visualize a positive outcome, to believe in the power of prayer.
And to act with faith guiding their steps. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about taking action aligned with those beliefs.
Exactly. He even suggests that prayer itself can shift your perspective.
Oh, interesting.
And open your mind to new solutions.
I can see that, like taking a step back from the problem and
looking at it from a different angle.
Yeah. He tells this gripping story about a businessman on the verge of bankruptcy. The guy was so overwhelmed he was actually considering suicide.
Wow.
But then he remembered Peale's advice about taking God as a partner. So what did he do?
He went to his office, shut the door, and just poured his heart out to God.
He completely surrendered.
He surrendered his business, his family, his entire future.
And what happened?
He felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. As he kept praying and seeking guidance, he started to see new possibilities for his business.
Did he actually turn things around?
He was able to turn things around.
Wow, that's incredible. It's a powerful testament to the power of faith and surrender. So Peale really believes in that connection with a higher power.
It really is. And it leads to a question Peale poses to his readers.
Hit me with it.
What area of your life could benefit from drawing on that higher power, whatever it may be for you?
It's a question worth reflecting on. But before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, let's explore Peale's final message.
Okay.
About unleashing your inner power.
Okay.
To achieve your goals and live a more fulfilling life. He starts by reminding us that we're capable of so much more than we often realize. We all have this potential just waiting to be unlocked.
So it's not about seeking power externally, it's about
tapping into the power within.
Exactly. And he believes this potential is accessible through faith, positive thinking.
And a willingness to tap into a power greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's a key point. It's not just about willpower, it's about
connecting to something bigger.
Exactly. Does he give any examples of this? Like, how does someone actually unlock this potential?
He tells the story about a man plagued by feelings of inadequacy and failure. He'd bounced from job to job, never feeling good enough or successful. He was like stuck in a cycle of self-doubt.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So how did he break free?
But then he discovered Peale's teachings
Yeah?
and decided to give them a shot.
Okay.
He started with positive affirmations, visualizing success, and praying for guidance.
Sounds like he was really putting in the effort.
And slowly but surely, his mindset started to shift.
So it wasn't an overnight thing.
He began to believe in himself and his abilities.
That's huge.
And he felt this surge of energy and motivation he'd never experienced before.
Like he was finally living up to his potential.
And get this, he was able to accomplish things he'd always thought were impossible for him.
It's amazing what can happen when you change your mindset, right?
Peale emphasizes that our thoughts have a huge impact on our reality.
Our thoughts create our reality.
He encourages us to focus on what we want, not what we fear, to replace those negative thoughts with positive ones.
So it's like we have a choice. We can choose to dwell on the negative,
Focus on the positive.
to visualize our goals as already achieved.
And to believe that, with God's help, anything is possible. He even encourages us to, talk to our subconscious minds.
Talk to our subconscious minds. What does that even mean?
It's like we can reprogram those negative beliefs holding us back. He suggests using affirmations like, I believe God gives me power to attain what I really want, and I expect the best, and with God's help, we'll attain the best. Now, you can, adjust those affirmations to fit your beliefs, but the core message is to consistently feed your mind positive, faith-filled thoughts.
So it's about repetition, repeating these affirmations until they become
Part of your belief system.
Yeah.
It's about shifting from doubt and fear to belief and expectation.
powerful stuff. And it leads to a final thought from Peale. What are you capable of achieving if you truly believe in yourself and the power within you?
That's a powerful question to ponder.
It really is. That's a great place to pause, I think. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into the power of positive thinking. We've explored Peale's ideas about faith, positive thinking, and that power within each of us. But there's so much more to unpack. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve into some of the criticisms of Peale's work and explore how relevant his ideas are in today's world.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to part 2 of our deep dive.
Into the power of positive thinking.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground exploring ideas about faith, positive thinking, and that power within each of us.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
But it's important to acknowledge that not everyone agrees with him, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
There's been a fair bit of criticism too.
Yeah, and those criticisms are worth exploring.
Especially as we consider how relevant this book is today.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the main criticisms is that Peale can be a little too
Simplistic.
yeah.
Like he's dismissing genuine struggles.
Some critics argue he puts way too much emphasis on positive thinking.
As a solution to complex problems.
Like if your life isn't magically fixed by thinking happy thoughts, you might feel even worse.
Right. It's like you're failing at failing.
Guilty even.
It raises a crucial question.
Yeah.
What happens when you're up against something that can't just be, thought away?
Yeah, exactly.
Some challenges need more than just a positive attitude.
Peale does mention seeking professional help, especially, for serious mental health issues.
Right.
But some critics feel he doesn't really acknowledge the limitations of positive thinking as a cure-all.
Yeah, like it's not a magic bullet for everything.
Right.
There's also the concern that Peale's focus on personal success and happiness might make people yeah, like forgetting about, things like social justice or helping others.
Right. Some say it sounds a bit like prosperity gospel.
The idea that if you have enough faith and think the right thoughts, you'll be rewarded with wealth and success.
Yeah, and it almost feels, exploitative.
Of people who are struggling.
And looking for hope.
It's definitely a valid concern. I think it's
Yeah.
important to approach Peale's work with a critical eye.
Yeah.
Recognizing both its strengths and its weaknesses.
Totally agree. We can't just, blindly accept everything he says.
Right.
But even with those criticisms, there's no denying the impact Peale's had
Oh yeah.
on self-help and personal development.
Huge impact.
Many of his ideas are still being used by modern psychologists and spiritual teachers.
It's fascinating how Peale was ahead of his time.
In some ways.
Yeah, his work foreshadows things like cognitive behavioral therapy.
CBT,
Yeah.
which focuses on changing negative thought patterns.
Exactly.
You're right. And his emphasis on visualization has a lot in common with modern mindfulness practices.
Where you focus on the present moment.
And cultivate peace and acceptance.
Right.
It's also interesting how Peale's work, while rooted in Christianity,
Speaks to people from diverse spiritual backgrounds.
the core principles of positive thinking, believing in yourself and connecting with something bigger than yourself.
Those resonate across many belief systems.
So what does all this mean for our listener?
That's the big question, right? The power of positive thinking.
Can still be valuable.
For personal growth. Yeah.
We have to be, discerning.
And adapt its principles to our own individual needs and beliefs. It's not about pretending that everything is always perfect.
Or ignoring challenges.
It's about cultivating a mindset of possibility, resilience, and believing in your ability to overcome obstacles.
And knowing that you don't have to face those obstacles alone. There's a power within you
And a power beyond you.
that can offer strength and guidance.
Whether you find that power through faith, connecting with nature, or through the support of loved ones.
It's a source of hope and inspiration.
It can help you navigate those inevitable ups and downs of life.
Now, in part 3, we'll shift gears
Okay.
and explore some key takeaways from the power of positive thinking.
That sounds good.
We'll offer practical tips and techniques you can actually apply in your own life, regardless of your spiritual beliefs or background.
Stay tuned for part 3.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into the power of positive thinking. We've explored Peale's core ideas, looked at some of the criticisms,
Right.
And now it's time to get down to brass tacks.
Let's get practical.
What can we actually take away from this book and use in our lives?
What's the lasting value here, regardless of your personal beliefs?
I think one of the most powerful takeaways is Peale's emphasis on the power of belief.
Yeah.
It's more than just thinking positive thoughts, right? It's about cultivating a deep, unshakable belief in yourself.
In your ability to achieve what you set out to do.
He hammers home this idea that belief is the foundation of success, right? Like that businessman who turned his failing business around.
Yeah.
It all started with a shift from doubt to belief.
Exactly. And Peale argues that faith can really amplify that belief.
Whether it's faith in a higher power, faith in humanity,
Or even faith in your own potential.
but what if someone isn't, religious? Can they still tap into that power of belief?
Absolutely. I think it's about connecting to something larger than yourself.
Yeah.
Something that gives you a sense of purpose and strength.
It could be your values, your community, your connection to nature.
Anything that helps you feel grounded and supported.
That makes sense. Another big takeaway is the importance of taking control of your thoughts. Peale calls worry a destructive habit, and he's got some interesting techniques for breaking free from those negative thought patterns.
Remember that vacuum cleaner method you talked about?
Hi. Yeah.
So it's kind of silly, but the image of sucking out those negative thoughts and replacing them with positive ones.
It's so powerful.
I know, right?
I've actually tried that.
Right.
And I have to admit, it kind of works.
It does.
You catch yourself, spiraling into negativity and you consciously shift gears.
Yeah.
He also talks about visualization, really, really picturing yourself achieving your goals, feeling the success, letting those images sink in.
It's almost like mental rehearsal for success.
And Peale believes that by training your mind to focus on what you want,
You're more likely to make it happen.
Peale also stresses the importance of finding, peace and stillness
Oh, for sure.
in the midst of all the chaos of life, right? He talks about slowing down, using relaxation techniques.
Connecting with something bigger than yourself.
I love the anecdote about the doctor who prescribed a cemetery visit to his stressed out patient,
Morbid, yes.
but also a powerful reminder to gain perspective.
So much of what we worry about is temporary and honestly, not that important in the grand scheme of things.
It's about choosing what you give your energy to. And Peale believed that connecting with a higher power through prayer, meditation, spending time in nature, whatever works for you.
Could give you that inner peace and strength to weather any storm.
And don't forget his practical tips for building positive relationships.
Yeah.
He reminds us that everyone craves appreciation.
And feeling valued.
Simple acts of kindness, remembering names, genuinely listening to people, those small things.
It's going to have a huge impact.
It's about making people feel seen and heard, right? He also talks about building others up instead of tearing them down.
Right.
A sincere compliment, a word of encouragement, a helping hand.
Those can be transformative.
He uses the example of Dr. John W. Hoffman.
Who would write letters to his students.
Congratulating them, expressing belief in their potential.
What a simple but powerful way to make a positive impact.
It all comes back to Peale's core message. Choose positivity, choose belief, choose kindness.
And maybe, just maybe, you'll be surprised by what you can achieve.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the power of positive thinking, we leave you with this question from Peale.
Hit us with it.
What area of your life could benefit from a dose of positive thinking and faith?
It's a great question to reflect on as you go about your day.
How can you apply these principles, belief, positive thinking, finding peace, connecting with others, tapping into a power greater than yourself?
To create a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
We hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought, some new tools for your mental toolkit, and maybe even a renewed sense of hope and possibility.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep believing in the power of possibility.